Here, we shall be dealing with method, in other words, the theory behind lesson planning. Now, I am well aware that you are already a classroom-based teacher with plenty of experience in filling in the prescribed planning forms issued to you by your school or by the education department. So be assured that this course has nothing to do with the, quite frankly, boring process of filling in forms. No. What we are hoping to achieve is to enable you to improve your teaching skills by thinking about, by pondering on what you can do to enhance your effectiveness as a professional teacher. Now, going onto the screen, you can see the technical definition of method, which is an overall organized presentation of a language learning and teaching plan. This definition includes the word language. But if that is removed, then it could in fact be applied to any subject, not only languages. There are three essential elements involved in the method with which we are now dealing, and these are approach, design, and procedure. Now let us take a look at each one of these in turn. The approach to anything is the theory upon which it is based. It is important to remember that theories are like religion in that they are subjective. What you believe and accept as fact, no matter how logical, could very well be regarded as utterly false by another person, and for equally sound reasons. However, on the screen you can see the definition of an approach. A theory about the nature of language and language learning that forms the basis of a language teaching method. This puts it more simply. The theory behind any approach attempts to explain both what language is and what language learning is. And oh boy, doesn't that just lead to a lot of arguments. Anyway, let us move on to design, which is a description of a particular language learning and teaching method. This is what you will find in your subject policy documents with which you were issued long ago. And here are some of the specifics, as you can see. Design describes and explains the general and specific objectives of the method, the syllabus outline of the method, types of learning and teaching activities, learner roles, teacher roles, and the role of instructional materials. Right, now we get into the classroom. The procedure is what happens when the various aspects of design are implemented in practice during the actual lessons. We are all familiar with the classroom environment. We have our resources such as the room itself with the blackboard and pinboards and books, or if the principal has just won the lotto, we have tablets and interactive boards. Then we have our interaction pattern, which is basically the size of the groups, if any. And finally, there are the techniques or tactics and strategies that are used by both the teacher and the learners. Now let us select a method to use as an example of a typical sequence flowing from approach through design to procedures. For this, we shall focus briefly on an old favorite of mine, the audio-lingual method. The audio-lingual approach assumes that language is speech, not writing, and is a set of habits. Also, it states that the elements of any language are determined by how it is spoken by its native speakers. Audio-lingual means hear and speak, well, more or less. So its design obviously stresses listening and speaking in the classroom. The teacher, who must be a fluent speaker of the language, must provide multiple examples of its use and must actively drill learners towards the desired levels of fluency. The ideal classroom for the audio-lingual method is a language laboratory, which is equipped with booths linked to the teacher's central control point. This makes it easier for the learners to listen to recordings of adapted speech, such as dialogues, and for the teacher to listen individually to the learners as they practice speaking. Well, those are the basics of method: approach, design, and procedure. We shall expand on this in our next session together.